Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the top 6 marketing essentials for a successful healthcare practice. As a reminder, we will be answering questions at the end of the presentation, so feel free to submit any questions in the chat or the Q&A box at any point throughout the webinar. Even if you can't make it until the end of the webinar, feel free to submit your questions and we'll make sure that someone reaches out to you with an appropriate answer. My name is Lauren Parr. I'm the product marketing manager here at RepuGen, a healthcare reputation management platform that assists healthcare providers in improving their online reviews, patient acquisition, retention, and engagement. I'm also a contributing editor of the Forbes Business Communication Council. Before we jump in, let's go over the agenda so we know exactly why we're here today. In this webinar, we'll discuss website tips to improve patient interaction, how to claim your business online listings, how to measure patient satisfaction, how to manage your online reputation, how to create a social presence, and finally, how to implement a text and email marketing campaign. We'll dive into each of these topics one by one to explain the foundation for attracting and retaining patients in today's competitive market. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll start off with website tips to improve patient interaction. Anyone these days can make a website. However, can you ensure that it's functional, beautiful, and most importantly, able to acquire patients to grow your practice? Well, more often than not, I find that a lot of practices I talk to are not fully leveraging their website. So you'll want to take advantage of these essential tips to make sure your website attracts the right patients. First, you'll want to make sure your website is mobile friendly. Although more than 60% of online searches originate from mobile devices, many practices do not have their websites properly optimized for mobile use. And that means they're losing prospective patients who rely on their mobile devices to find a provider near them. Second, your website needs to be indexed by Google. But what exactly does that mean? Well, if your website is correctly indexed, that means that your website can pop up when people are searching for you. So make sure your website uses enough keywords so that if someone is searching for services you offer near them, you will be the first one to show up in their Google search. Third, your website needs to load quickly. 1 in 4 website visitors will abandon a website if it takes longer than 4 seconds to load, just 4 seconds. So that just goes to show people are not going to wait minutes for your site to load to get the info that they need. Instead, they'll just go to someone else or someone else's website if it takes too long for your website to load for them. So make sure your website is up to date and fully optimized so that it loads as quickly as possible. Fourth, your website makes it easy for people to reach out to you. You'd be surprised at how many websites don't have a call or a form option for patients to contact them. Your website is a tool to help you acquire more patients. So make sure you give people a way to get in touch with you directly from your website to ensure that you are findable. So now that we've covered how to optimize your website, the next point that we'll be talking about is claiming and managing your online listings, as they are critical to your online presence. Even so, listings management is not something most practices are typically aware of, I find. So let's jump into what exactly are online listings. Well, online listings are profiles for your business. They provide information to customers like your address, business name, phone number, hours of operation, your website URL, and even more information about your business. Example of online listings include Yelp, Google Business, Healthgrades, Facebook, WebMD, Yellow Pages. The list goes on and on. The ones that I mentioned are just some of the top listing sites that healthcare professionals must have, but there really is a long list of important listings out there. And the more that you're listed on the web, the more likely you are to be ranked. So that kind of goes into my next point of why do listings matter? Well, without any business listings, it'll be difficult for patients to find you. And the reason is because search engines like Google are less likely to recognize you unless you're listed on different listings. So to go into that, listings help you get found. Search engines factor in your user's search, location, and proximity to you. So if you develop your online listings and have more sites available with your business information, you will appear more often in front of patients that are searching for services that you offer, because they'll be more likely to find your Google My Business page, your Health Grades page, your Yelp page, etc., if you're listed on all of those relevant sites near them. And next, accurate listings help you rank higher on Google search. Google wants to provide the searcher with the best possible options and the ones that are most relevant to them. If you don't have correct information on your online listings, such as your name, address, or phone number, then search engines will likely rank you lower on search results. And then finally, listings allow you to get online reviews. So very likely and more often than not, people will post reviews on your listing profiles. So being able to acquire online reviews from patients will help you rank higher in search results and show prospective patients how much your current base enjoys your services through those reviews. So now that we know why listings matter, you may be asking, how exactly should you be managing your listings? Well, first off, your name, address, and phone number, known as NAP, N-A-P, that name, address, and phone number should be consistent across all of your listing sites. This might seem obvious, but a lot of practices out there have slight variations in their practice name or their provider name or their address, which can affect how high your online listing ranks when being searched. So look at this example where you can see Performance Health Medical Group here on the right. If this was your practice, you'll want to make sure that you use the exact name Performance Health Medical Group on all of your listings channels, such as Health Grades, Google, Yelp, etc., and so on. Variations like Performance Health Medical Group Laguna Hills or simply Performance Health will result in an inaccurate listing and an inconsistency in your name, thus causing Google to rank you lower. So this is a very important note. Not only with just your name, you want to ensure that your address is exactly the same. See here, it's abbreviated as RD on this Google My Business profile. If this particular practice were to list their address as ROAD, spelled out as road, on their Yelp profile and their Health Grades profile, the search engines would actually consider that to be an inconsistency. So it's vital to list all of your listings, name, address, and phone number information exactly the same and precisely the same across all of your listing sites. Overall, your Google business listing is highly critical to your online presence. Make sure you claim it and update your listings with the latest info, website services, and anything else that is necessary for your practice. To claim your listings, you'll need a Gmail account and verification of your location. It's equally important to claim the listings of other sites other than Google My Business, such as Health Grades, Yelp, Yellow Pages, Apple Maps, WebMD, Facebook, etc., and so on. Again, just make sure that your name, phone number, and address are consistent across all of the listings you have out there. Another critical component for Yelp, Apple Maps, Google Business, Facebook, and other non-provider websites is the addition of a business descriptor. Business descriptors are typically requested on these sites, and that you need to write a short description of your business. This is where you'll want to create a brief summary that includes keywords that people will use when searching for your services. So for example, if you're an urgent care business, a keyword you can use is urgent care in X city. Additionally, you can mention what services you provide, what communities you serve, and any specialties that you may have. Some listings will also ask you to place your business in a certain category, such as healthcare, family physician, urgent care, etc. Pick the best category that resembles your business and is the most specific, as again, this will help the Google search engines and other search engines find you and rank you appropriately. So now that we've covered business listings, I want to jump in and start talking about how you can measure patient satisfaction. Many people don't think that monitoring patient satisfaction is completely critical to your marketing strategy. However, it's directly related to patient loyalty, retention rates, and referral efforts that can affect your marketing strategy. So let's dive in a little bit more. Just to start off, why do you need to monitor patient satisfaction? Well, many people focus on patient acquisition, but they often, again, forget about retention. Monitoring patient satisfaction is critical to higher retention rates and your learning of how to improve the patient experience. Better patient experiences result in more patient referrals, positive word of mouth, and lower attrition. Monitoring satisfaction will also allow you to address issues that are brought up by your patients. Since unhappy patients feel like they need to be heard, they are more likely to voice their concerns. So, if you're able to monitor your patient satisfaction, you can set up a process to hear your unhappy patients out and see if you can rectify the situation that they have. When you monitor satisfaction and you have set a process for doing so, patients will know that you care. Responding to their feedback and taking action is key, as patients will definitely see the effort that you are putting in, thus becoming more likely to be loyal and staying with your practice. Here's an example of RepuGen's process for measuring patient satisfaction. While you could just ask patients to verbally recount their experience, having a way to automatically measure and track patient satisfaction will be more efficient and beneficial for your practice. With RepuGen's process, we ask patients to rate their experience with a one-question survey, asking if they would recommend the practice to a friend or family member. The advantage of this is that you can measure their rating, see their score out of 10, and with any negative feedback and negative scores, we can send the feedback to anyone at your practice, like a practice manager, so that you can identify who's unhappy, reach out to them, and hopefully rectify the situation. This really allows practices to personally reach out to patients so that the healthcare provider and practices will really have that opportunity to retain the patient and, of course, learn more about what went wrong and how they can fix it next time. So now that we know why monitoring patient satisfaction is so important and helpful for creating a loyal patient base, let's go ahead and talk about online reputation management and how it's pivotal to your marketing strategy. So compared to when I first started at RepuGen, many practices are now more aware of the importance of online reviews and the impact that they have for acquiring patients. Practices may know that they need positive reviews, but aren't really sure what to do, how to start to improve their online reputation. Well, to answer that, in addition to acquiring positive online reviews, you also need to be actively managing and monitoring your online reputation in addition to getting those reviews. So let's talk exactly about how your online reputation impacts your practice. Well, online reviews are now having an even greater impact on search rankings, as 81% of patients consider online reviews when choosing a healthcare provider. This means that if you have poor online reviews, it will actually negatively affect how you rank on Google, since Google considers reviews as one of the top search ranking factors. Google will likely rank profiles with a positive online reputation over those with a lower reputation. Also, think about it from a patient's perspective. Would you want to choose a provider with poor online reviews? Even if patients are getting referred to you, they will still be checking out your online reviews and may think twice about seeing you if your online reviews don't really match how satisfied your patient base really is. So, how do you get more reviews and manage your online reputation? Well, first, you'll want to monitor your online reviews. Claiming your listings, as we talked about before, is one of the easiest ways to start monitoring your online reviews, as you can get notified of every new review that you receive through those listing sites. If you can't set up notifications, you'll need to set aside time every week to look at your online reviews so that you can monitor what kind of reviews are coming in. Second, once you're monitoring those reviews, you'll want to respond to all reviews, regardless of whether the review is positive or negative. Your review responses are a part of your online reputation and can influence how patients perceive you. Poorly written responses will result in prospective patients thinking that you may be unprofessional. Responses that accept responsibility and show how you are improving the patient experience have a positive impact on prospective patients. And as responding to both positive and online reviews is equally important, if you really only have time to respond to one or the other, we recommend addressing those negative reviews to ensure that those patients' frustrations are being dealt with, and any prospective patients that are looking at your online reviews can see that you are addressing those negative concerns. And next, you'll want to create a review solicitation process. So happy patients typically forget to write a review since they'll kind of just go on with their day. They often need a push or a reminder to leave a review, whereas negative patients, were previously mentioned, are more willing to leave online reviews, which makes it so that your online reputation doesn't accurately reflect how satisfied your patients are, and really results with all of these different healthcare practices to have an underrepresented online reputation through their online reviews. So you really need to create a way for your happy patients to leave a review for you. A new way to do so is through QR codes. QR codes is a way that many providers are asking for reviews from their patients. They're easy to generate, and you can have them displayed on your front desk for patients to scan as they are leaving your appointment. Using an online reputation management system is another effective solution, as you can typically automate the review request process and really ask patients to leave reviews through automated texts, emails, QR codes, etc., and so on. The goal is really to streamline the process and make it easy for patients to leave reviews, whether that's via QR code or an online reputation management platform, or even just verbally asking all of your patients to leave reviews. If you were to be using a system like RepuGen, you can automatically ask patients to leave a review if they've rated positively on the patient satisfaction survey we went over previously. As you can see on the screen, the happy patient will be notified that their feedback is automatically copied to their clipboard, and they'll be asked to leave a review on any of the review sites that is listed or the ones that you guys are looking to improve your reviews on. Let's talk about some guidelines and basic standards to your online review profiles. So, based on research of how patients utilize online reviews when selecting a healthcare provider, we found that you need to maintain at least a 4-star rating. And this is because 75% of patients, or 3 out of 4 patients, would only consider a healthcare provider or a practice with at least 4 stars. Next, you'll want to have at least 10 reviews on all of the different review sites, since 60% of patients check at least 10 online reviews before choosing a healthcare provider. Next, you'll want to get at least 2 to 3 new reviews minimum every month, because patients view newer reviews as most reliable and really do rely on those recent reviews. And finally, be listed on the most important review sites for healthcare so that you can cover all of the review sites that prospective patients look at when researching healthcare providers. So now that we've gone over reputation and why it's so important to your marketing strategy, let's talk about social media and why building your social presence is essential to your marketing strategy as well. Well, social media is an integral part of today's society. Not only do we use it to socialize with our peers, but social media is now commonly used for research. Studies show that nearly 90% of all adults in the US search for health information on Facebook and other social media sites. Additionally, 32% of millennials took a proactive action in regards to their health based on the information that they consumed on social media. Therefore, social media can be a great prompt to grow your brand awareness and potentially get more patients. It can also allow you to position yourself as a leader in your specialty and provide great information and educational materials to patients. So with that in mind, how should you approach posting on your social media profiles, you may be asking? Well, first off, you will want to ensure that you're posting about 1 to 3 times per week, as you want your content to be shown to patients, but you don't want to overwhelm your audience with too many posts. As for what you should share, educational content is key, such as fast facts about certain medical conditions or procedures, preventative health tips to ensure your audience is able to live a healthy lifestyle, or noteworthy stats that may be specific to your specialty. Next, you'll want to post about what's going on in your office. Are you having an annual holiday party, or is it a staff member's birthday? Do you have an employee of the month? Posting information about your practice that's outside of just medical things, such as the examples given above, can greatly help your connection to patients. The main key here is really to keep your posts simple. Try not to overload content with too much text, making sure to keep it on theme with what your brand is and concise for patients to read. Third, you can post videos to create more engagement with patients. Again, you don't have to post a video every day, but you're presenting information on some health tips. The content can really be delivered quickly in a quick video so that your audience can find you and be even more engaged with you than maybe a regular post. Finally, let's talk about text and email marketing and why it's so important and one of the top 6 strategies for your marketing campaign here. I think email and text marketing is one of the great tools to communicate more information about your practice to your current patient base and even future patient base. The benefit of text messages is that they have such high open rates of 98%. So if you want to make sure a patient views your message, text is one of the best options. Email is also definitely a great way to communicate with patients. With email, you can send notices, updates, and promos about things you have going on. If you have a new service or a new provider, emails market your practice in a way that increases patient engagement and keeps your practice at the top of your patient's mind. So for some text marketing tips, don't overwhelm your patients with too many texts. If you want to run a marketing campaign by texting your patients, you want to limit the number of texts you send, as sending too many can result them in unsubscribing from your text messages, and then they'll be out of the loop. Instead, you'll want to aim for at most 2 texts per month for your marketing campaigns. Additionally, don't make the texts too long. If it's more than 300 characters, opt to send the message as an email. You'll want to keep the text short and sweet, making it clear what information you're providing and what response you may want from the patients. For email marketing, you can try sending out something like a monthly newsletter. Monthly newsletters are a great way to educate patients and inform them on what's happening in your practice or in the healthcare industry itself. For content presented in the newsletter, it's recommended that 80% should be informational and patient education focused, with the remaining 20% being promotional. For example, informational content could discuss the preventative health information featured on maybe your latest blogs and general news that is relevant to your practice. Finally, make sure patients are actually opting in for emails and have a way to unsubscribe if they'd like to. All right, so I know that was a lot of information. That's everything that I wanted to cover today. As a summary, to attract more patients and grow your medical practice, it's important to focus on various aspects, such as building a user-friendly website for patients to navigate and contact you, optimizing your online listing so that you are found when people search for you online, measuring and monitoring your patient satisfaction to pinpoint your strengths and weaknesses, building your online reviews and reputation so that patients can create an accurate picture of who you are, utilizing social media to grow your brand awareness and attract more patients, and finally, implementing text and email marketing campaigns to reach your patients successfully. And now I want to take a quick minute to tell you a little bit more about ourselves at RepuGen. RepuGen is an all-inclusive reputation management platform that will help you to manage and acquire more online reviews, manage any negative reviews, and build a healthy online reputation. That's not all we offer, though. We have a slew of add-on services to assist with patient engagement, monitoring, and improving patient satisfaction, and even leveraging that great reputation that you're able to build with RepuGen through marketing solutions and more. Lastly, I want to let you know that we currently have a promotion going on that offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. That means if you sign up for RepuGen and your online reputation is not improved within 90 days, you'll be entitled to a refund of all of your monthly fees. To take advantage of this promotion, email us at info@repugen.com, or you can visit our website at www.repugen.com. Feel free to fill out a contact form and let us know that you heard about us through this webinar, and we'll be sure to give you that 90-day money-back guarantee promotion. All right, so now that everything has been covered, I want to go ahead and open up the room to some Q&A. Go ahead and ask any questions that you might have in the Q&A box. All right, looks like we've already got our first question. It says, you mentioned that I should get more reviews on different listing sites. What sites should I focus on? Yeah, really great question. So based on our market research, we recommend focusing on Google, Healthgrades, Vitals, WebMD, RateMD, Yelp, and Facebook. So those are the top 7. I'll say them one more time. Google, Healthgrades, Vitals, WebMD, RateMD, Yelp, and Facebook. From the research of what we've done to understand how patients use online reviews in deciding on a specific healthcare provider or practice, these were the top sites that patients were using when searching for a new healthcare provider. All right, another question is, how can I make sure that I update all of my listings? There's a lot of different profiles out there, so I don't know if I can catch them all. Another great question. I would really recommend starting by updating your listings on the most important review sites that I just mentioned, which again are Google, Healthgrades, Vitals, WebMD, RateMD, Yelp, and Facebook. Once you have those, you can try Googling yourself or your practice and checking really what other sites you need to update. Additionally, there are tools out there like with RepuGen where you can identify where listings are not up to date, and we will help you to make those necessary adjustments. And you can even do listings management where you add your correct information. RepuGen will automatically update all of your profiles out there. So you won't have to worry about which ones you're not able to cover with that quick Google search. But yeah, great question. Another question is, which social media profiles should I focus on? So for general social media platforms, it's always a good idea to have a social presence on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Additionally, there are some healthcare specific social media platforms out there like Sermo and Doximity that you can even build your presence on there, where you can kind of coordinate with different doctors. But generally, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are the main ones. And depending on your specialty, you may even want to consider TikTok. Something like dermatology or med spa, you may be able to reach patients through TikTok as well. But it really does depend on your specialty on whether or not you want to pursue a marketing strategy on that site. All right, another question is, my website always takes about 10 seconds to load. What can I do to shorten the time it takes to load? Yeah, great question. So like I said, really, patients might abandon your website if it takes longer than 4 seconds. So at 10 seconds, you are at kind of a high one here. What I would recommend doing to improve your load speed would be to make sure, number one, your website is hosted on a great server. Make sure that your website images are not too large, and even limiting the number of plugins that your website uses on the back end. You can use tools such as Google. They have some really great tools out there to help you to determine what issues are specific to your website and why it's taking long to load, which I do recommend, since it really just depends on what you specifically have going on your website in order to optimize it. But I would start there, ensure that it's hosted on a good server. You don't have too many websites that are, or too many images that are too large, and really limiting the number of plugins that your website uses. All right, we got another question that says, I don't have the bandwidth to try getting more reviews on all of the important review sites that you mentioned, since I'm so busy with my patients. So how can I go about improving my online reputation? Yeah, so great question. For situations like this, I really would suggest having your staff starting out by verbally asking patients to leave an online review. This will be a quick way to at least get in your patients' minds to help you out by leaving an online review. And it's simple enough that, any of your staff members can ask. But really, in order for you to automate your reputation management process more than just getting online reviews, really managing your online reviews, I would recommend an online reputation management solution, just like RepuGen actually, to automatically reach out to your patients and give you access to a dashboard so that instead of taking the time to manage all of your reviews manually, you're able to kind of automate the process with a solution like RepuGen or another reputation management solution. All right, really great questions. We'll give just one more minute to see if any other ones come in. All right, well, it looks like that's all the questions for today. If you do have any questions that do come up, feel free to reach out to us again at repugen.com and we'll be happy to assist you. And thank you all again for attending today's webinar. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And again, feel free to get in touch with us on the sites listed on this slide. Take care. Bye-bye.